Saturday, June 13th, 2020. It is now 11:50 a.m. As I'm on the way home from the park, a quick thought that's on my mind is a rant, so only 10 minutes of wisdom, rant on why the whole aspect of black people not supporting each other is BS. It's a false narrative, it's a lie, and a lot of leaders capitalize on through the black culture mindset. But when you think about it, when I think about it, yes, black people support each other, and I'm going to go in details, in groups that they relate with. Yes, we're all black, but experiences, mindset, culture, traditions are different, and we relate with people primarily based on those things. And yes, sometimes skin color as a factor, right? So let's get into it. I was thinking the other day that I'm always hearing a lot of other black people say, oh, the Jewish people support each other, and the white man supports each other, and the Chinese people support each other, but black people are the only group that don't support each other. I'm always hearing that from some other people, right? And for one thing, I found a lot of black leaders, they use it as a marketing tactic to fellow black people who are either ignorant or not understanding what support means, and they feed into that whole mindset. That's another story. So I said to myself, as I was at the park talking with somebody, and I'm like, I want to go play ball with those guys over there. Now, if we're going first color, of course, a bunch of black people, right? But then I'm like, you know what? It's going to be kind of tough because I could tell they're African, and I know African people are often very tight with each other. I know how they do things. Then he said to me, he just like, it's not even a factor of them being tight. It's just, different groups of people identify and click with each other. He said, for example, I'm Jamaican. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And he's just like, exactly. So he said, if the Jamaicans playing ball and we go up to them and say, hey, what's up? And, say you're Jamaican. And they say, where you're from? And if your parents are Jamaican, they'll easily just pull you in and say, okay, let's play ball. And I said, that's a good point. And then that brought up my thought of like, when they said Chinese, help Chinese and Jewish help Jewish. I said, while we might all identify based as black, due to racism and slavery and how, we do the whole white man, black man thing, at the end of the day, we all have still experiences, tradition and cultures and locations that cause us to identify with some people much more easier than other people from a psychological standpoint. Now, because of racism and all that stuff, people want to try and negate those things and just say, yo, I'm black, you black, we should get along. I'm black, you should buy from me. But at the end of the day, psychologically, if someone is not, willing to, someone's not like, let's say, I won't say that open-minded, or isn't from a certain mindset, they're not going to just say, oh, because you're black, black culture, right? It's going to be like, no, I'm Jamaican, you're Jamaican, oh, we get along. What part of Jamaica you from? Oh, I'm from Montego Bay, oh, I'm from Kingston. And then that creates a conversation that helps those people who are black, but from Jamaica, relate with each other, right? The same way Africans might do it, the same way Haitians may do it, the same way African Americans may do it. Oh, what, you're from New York, yeah, what part of New York? Bronx, so I'm from Brooklyn, right? We find relating points. And added to that, a lot of times we will support each other based on those relating points that we have. We support each other based on those relating points, even when, and it depends on the relating point a person chooses to identify with first, right? So for example, even when it comes to religion, or belief system, some people identify with Nation of Islam first, or some people identify with Christianity first, right? The concept of black people not supporting each other is, I want to say, a logical fallacy, something that sounds like it's true, but it's not when you factor in how people interact with each other based on human nature, set aside color first. So I find a lot of pro-black leaders, they'll use that concept of, oh, black people don't support each other, to grasp those who are naive and who don't have a sense of what they want to use to identify with, right? Just black, and they believe that. And some people, they'll say that because now it's like, if I'm thinking only in a black consciousness mindset, not factoring in, you know, location, tradition, culture, belief system of different ways to identify, right? When I saw those group of okay, I'm gonna use the first black people first, right? Not factoring that they were African second. Okay, let's do it that way. Then if they tell me no, they don't want to play ball with me, or you know, when I go in, they don't want me to play ball, in my mind, I'm like, oh, see, black people don't support each other, they don't work together. But I'm not factoring the fact that they are identifying who they can relate with or who they want to play with based on the fact that their culture is whichever parts of Africa, and they can relate. So for me to then say, oh, black people don't support each other off experience like that, it's pure ignorance. And I find a lot of other black people are saying black people don't support when they expect somebody from a different group in culture, tradition, or belief system to just click with them, oh, I'm black, right? But at the end of the day, people identify with each other based on different things, and even principles and mindset, you know, or experiences. So now you'll find that many black leaders or pro-black leaders, they're trying to use negative experiences like racism and slavery to say, okay, you know what? One thing black people can all relate with is that we all went through slavery in some way or form, or we all go through racism. And it's just like, really though? Really? Just got a coconut from the health food store. But anyways, you know, really, like, are we going to use racism, you know, a very negative experience, to relate with each other on a collective basis, right? It's like, why do we have to use something that trigger our negative emotions? All right. All dude was making a joke saying don't take his pictures until I was like, what? Anyways, right? To relate through a negative experience, especially when to create, you need to use positive emotions, right? So I find that when people are like, yeah, black people don't support each other, it's like there's subgroups. And you cannot change the fact that there's subgroups, because there's subgroups with white people, there's subgroups with Jewish people, there's subgroups with Chinese people, right? It's about working together in an organized manner, in a collective way. And when I say collective way, not everyone's going to be on the same page, not everyone is going to want to work with you in the same way, right? Everyone has their different purposes, their different skills, right? And different opportunities that will manifest for them. But when a lot of pro-black leaders have that mindset of, oh, just black culture, black consciousness, right? You find that they try to use those as a reasons to get us to come together, and it's just like, you gotta, I find that method is wanting to not market properly, wanting to just use black to try and market to all, right? And it can work because there's a lot of people who they'll identify with black first before any other, you know, belief system or culture and all that. So they do market to those people. But then there's a lot who don't, like myself. Like, just because you say the word black and put it beside something doesn't mean I'm going to jump. I'm saying I'm still going to weigh the pros, the cons of the opportunity. I'm going to weigh if I even like the person who I'm working with, if I can stand by them, if they not, you know, if they have the right principles and spirit and same similar drive in life, not just, oh, because I'm black and you're black, you know. So you can't go tell me, oh, I'm a black person, I don't want to work with black people, because I do work with other black people who I align with in various ways. So I think, you know, we need to debunk this whole aspect of black people don't support each other, because especially when I say debunk, if you're a follower or you're following a certain leader, and if your leader's saying that shit, you just need to stop. I mean, I would say just stop doing that. You know, as a matter of fact, don't stop. Do whatever you want to do. Think however you want to think. But factor those things in when you're marketing, when you're trying to get things done, right? When you're going off and trying to do all these other stuff. Because I want to personally say that there's a lot of content I put out, and honestly, it does not get any traction because I talk from just a life and personal development standpoint. I don't add black to anything I'm doing. So for example, I won't be like, oh, you know, 5 ways black business owners can do whatever. I literally just say 5 ways business owners can do something. If I wanted to target a certain demographic, who are potentially more black, I would say 5 ways business owners in Jamaica, Queens. You know what I'm saying? But I'm never going to use just black, because when I target Jamaica, Queens, yes, the potential there's going to be more black people there, but there's other people in Jamaica, Queens, and I want anyone who is in that location to gain the value, not just those who are related to me based on skin color. Now, when I say that, I'm not factoring in systematic racism and all these other things that, yes, people of color go through. Like I said, it's real. I acknowledge it. But in terms of marketing and saying we don't work together because every people of color don't want to align with your vision, because you want to be like, oh, this is for us collectively. Don't say that, because people of color still come in different subgroups based on mindset, based on belief, based on principles, and we are actually working together collectively in those various ways. So yes, black people do support each other based on the standards and principles and mindset of who they relate with and who they choose to support. When you say that they don't support each other, that is BS. That's not true, and that's a lie. But a lot of people think that way. So a lot of pro-black leaders leverage off that type of mindset and do whatever y'all want to do. But for those who are using their minds more, no offense, I'm not trying to come at anybody. Just factor those things in when you want to work with people, when you want to market to people. You just can't be like, yo, I'm black, you black, we need to work together. Nah, because not everyone's on the same page in terms of heart, mind, spirit, you know what I'm saying, principles, and there's different standards to what can cause people to want to work together with each other.